Let's step inside the extraordinary residences of Tony Randall, a man who turned neurotic neatness into an art form and became one of America's most cherished actors. Born in Oklahoma in 1920, Tony Randall would go on to transform himself from a small-town dreamer into a Broadway legend and television icon. His career spanned 6 remarkable decades, from his early days portraying Felix in The Odd Couple to the height of his career starring in movies like Pillow Talk with Doris Day and Rock Hudson. But Randall was far more than just a talented actor. He was a devoted philanthropist who founded the National Actors Theatre. By the time of his death in 2004, Tony Randall had accumulated a net worth of $30 million, a fortune that reflected his successful acting career and shrewd investments in real estate. His primary residence alone, a spectacular Central Park West apartment, was valued at nearly $18 million, making it one of Manhattan's most coveted properties. Today, we're going to explore the homes that house this extraordinary man, from his magnificent Manhattan penthouse to his sunny Florida retreat. Tony Randall's most prized possession wasn't a Tony Award or an Emmy. It was his breathtaking apartment at 211 Central Park West, a residence so magnificent it would make even the most discerning real estate connoisseur weaken the knees. Located in the prestigious Beresford building, this was more than your regular apartment. It was a full-floor palace. The Beresford, completed in 1929, stands as one of Central Park West's most distinguished addresses. Designed by the renowned architect Emery Roth in a neo-Renaissance style, this iconic building has housed some of New York's most prominent figures throughout its history, like Diana Ross, Jerry Seinfeld, Glenn Close, and Rock Hudson. But even among such illustrious company, Tony Randall's residence stood out as something truly special. The apartment occupied an entire floor of this landmark building, offering an unprecedented level of privacy and grandeur that few Manhattan residences could match. Walking into Randall's home was like stepping into a perfectly orchestrated symphony of space and light. The apartment boasted 10 magnificent rooms, each one meticulously appointed and designed to take full advantage of the building's prime location. What truly set this residence apart were its 20 windows facing Central Park. Imagine waking up each morning to an unobstructed view of one of the world's most beautiful urban parks, watching the seasons change from autumn's golden tapestry to winter's pristine snow-covered landscape, then spring's vibrant renewal and summer's lush greenery. The living spaces were nothing short of spectacular. The apartment featured 4 bedrooms, all strategically positioned to face the park, ensuring that every morning brought those stunning Central Park vistas. The master suite was a private sanctuary where Randall could retreat from the demands of his career, surrounded by the tranquil beauty of the park below. The secondary bedrooms were equally impressive, each one large enough to serve as a private suite with plenty of space for guests and family members. The heart of the home was undoubtedly the living room, a grand space that could easily accommodate large gatherings while maintaining an intimate atmosphere for quiet evenings at home. Adjacent to this was a formal dining room where Randall entertained some of the biggest names in entertainment, from his Odd Couple co-star Jack Klugman to Broadway legends and Hollywood icons who came to appreciate not just his hospitality but the incredible setting he'd created. The apartment's layout was a masterclass in sophisticated living. A 29-foot gallery served as the spine of the home, connecting the various living spaces while providing an impressive entrance that immediately conveyed the resident's grandeur. The kitchen was a chef's dream, spanning 21 feet and equipped with everything needed to prepare elaborate meals for dinner parties or intimate gatherings. Perhaps most remarkably, the apartment included 8 walk-in closets, a detail that would have made Felix Unger himself proud. These weren't just storage spaces, but carefully organized sanctuaries where every garment, every accessory, every item had its perfect place. Given Randall's reputation for perfectionism and attention to detail, we can only imagine how meticulously organized these closets must have been. Now, the crown jewel of the apartment was the library, a room that faced the park and served as Randall's private retreat. Here, surrounded by books and looking out over Central Park, he could pursue his intellectual interests, read scripts, or simply enjoy quiet contemplation. What made this residence even more special was its private elevator, ensuring that Randall could come and go with complete privacy. This wasn't just a convenience, but a necessity for someone of his stature, allowing him to avoid the crowds and paparazzi that might gather in the building's main lobby. While Tony Randall's Manhattan apartment represented the height of urban sophistication, his second home in Key Biscayne, Florida, told a completely different story. Purchased in 2003, this vacation apartment represented a new chapter in Randall's life, one that came after his marriage to Heather Harlan and the arrival of their two children, Julia and Jefferson. Key Biscayne, located just off the coast of Miami, has long been one of Florida's most exclusive destinations. This barrier island paradise offers a unique combination of tropical beauty and sophisticated living, making it the perfect retreat for celebrities and successful professionals seeking escape from the pressures of their daily lives. The island's pristine beaches, upscale amenities, and strong sense of community made it an ideal choice for Randall, who was looking for a place where he could relax with his young family while still maintaining the level of luxury and comfort he'd come to expect. The timing of this purchase was particularly significant. At age 83, Tony Randall was experiencing the joys of fatherhood for the first time, and the Key Biscayne apartment represented his desire to create a perfect family environment where his children could experience the kind of carefree childhood that only a tropical paradise could provide. Here, Julia and Jefferson could play on pristine beaches, swim in crystal clear waters, and experience a side of life that was far removed from the hustle and bustle of Manhattan. The apartment itself, while perhaps not as grand as his Manhattan residence, was designed with the same attention to detail and quality that characterized everything in Tony Randall's life. The Florida property offered stunning ocean views, allowing the family to wake up each morning to the sight of endless blue waters stretching to the horizon. The sound of waves and the gentle tropical breeze created an atmosphere of peace and tranquility that was the perfect antidote to Randall's demanding career in entertainment. What made this property particularly special was how it reflected this new phase of Randall's life. After decades of bachelor living followed by his marriage to Florence Gibbs, a relationship that lasted 54 years but produced no children, Tony Randall was finally experiencing the joys and challenges of raising a family. The Key Biscayne apartment was designed to accommodate this new reality, with spaces for children to play, family areas where they could gather for meals and activities, and bedrooms where Julia and Jefferson could enjoy their own private retreats. The outdoor spaces were likely the true stars of this property. Key Biscayne's tropical climate meant that outdoor living was possible year-round, and we can imagine terraces and balconies where the family could enjoy alfresco dining, watch spectacular sunsets over Biscayne Bay, and simply relax in one of the most beautiful settings on Earth. For a man who spent most of his life in the urban environment of New York City, this represented a completely different way of living, one that was more casual, more family-oriented, and focused on the simple pleasures that come from being surrounded by natural beauty. The location also offered privacy and security, crucial considerations for someone of Randall's fame. Key Biscayne had always been known for its discreet luxury, attracting celebrities and successful individuals who value their privacy above all else. Here, Tony Randall could enjoy family time without the constant attention and scrutiny that came with being a public figure in New York City. Perhaps most importantly, this Florida retreat represented Tony Randall's recognition that true wealth isn't just about accumulating possessions or achieving professional success, it's about creating meaningful experiences with the people you love. At an age when most people are settling into retirement, Randall was embarking on the greatest adventure of his life, raising a family. The Key Biscayne apartment was the perfect setting for this new chapter, offering a paradise where memories could be made and where his children could experience the love and attention of a father who had waited 77 years to experience the joys of parenthood. When Tony Randall passed away in 2004 at the age of 84, he left behind his beautiful homes and a legacy that perfectly embodied the American dream realized through talent, hard work, and unwavering commitment to excellence. The sale of his Central Park West apartment 3 years after his death became one of Manhattan's most notable real estate transactions of the decade. When his widow, Heather Harlan, decided to sell the property in 2007, it attracted immediate attention from the city's most discerning buyers. The apartment was ultimately purchased by financier Vikram Pandit for $17.85 million, a figure that was actually $300,000 more than the asking price, demonstrating just how desirable this property was and how well Randall has chosen his primary residence. The sale price represented far more than just a successful real estate transaction. It validated Tony Randall's impeccable taste and investment wisdom. The fact that the apartment sold for more than its asking price in a competitive market spoke to the quality of the property, its prime location, and the care with which Randall had maintained it over the years. Every detail, from the park-facing windows to the carefully appointed interior spaces, had been preserved and enhanced during his ownership. For Heather Harlan and their two young children, Julia and Jefferson, the sale of the apartment marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. The proceeds from this transaction, combined with the rest of Tony Randall's estate, ensured that his family would be well provided for, fulfilling his role as both a loving husband and a devoted father. The fact he'd accumulated such substantial wealth through his career and wise investments meant that his children would have every opportunity to pursue their own dreams and ambitions. The timing of various real estate transactions in Tony Randall's life tells a story of his changing priorities and evolving family situation. The purchase of the Key Biscayne apartment in 2003, just 1 year before his death, reflected his desire to create lasting memories with his young family. At an age when most people are focused on winding down their affairs, Randall was still investing in the future, still planning for family vacations and quality time with Julia and Jefferson. As we close the door on our tour of Tony Randall's magnificent homes, we're left with a profound appreciation for a man who understood that where you live is just as important as how you live. Tony Randall's real estate portfolio, valued at nearly $18 million for his Manhattan apartment alone, represented far more than just shrewd investment. It reflected a life philosophy that demanded excellence in every aspect of existence. Just as Felix Unger insisted on perfection in his fictional apartment, Tony Randall created real-world living spaces that were nothing short of spectacular. His homes weren't just places to sleep, they were sanctuaries where creativity could flourish, relationships could deepen, and life's most precious moments could unfold against backdrops of unparalleled beauty. Perhaps most touching of all is how Tony Randall's homes reflected his evolution from successful bachelor to devoted family man. Now, if you enjoyed this exclusive look behind the doors of Tony Randall's magnificent homes, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating tours of classic Hollywood's most spectacular residences. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you'll never miss our latest episodes, and let us know in the comments which classic Hollywood star's home you'd like us to explore next.